Greetings all. Thank you for being here. We'll allow everybody to chime in once again, and we will proceed with our Let's Build for today.
Talking y'all laughing out there.
All right, so team, you doing the comment and all that stuff?
Yeah, let me find you. The new you. Gotcha.
Perfecto. All right, so greetings all. Once again, we're here for the Let's Build, and today's topic, of course, is on the family of light. Fortunately, I am here with quite a few members of our family on this side of the water. Mass Conglom is here with us today. Here at the Ra, his hair longer than my mom's. Of course, we have Mike is in the kitchen doing something. We chilling. Of course, Amun Ra is here, and Corey's in the back. He'll be your conductor or your maestro today for our music. And yes, once again, our discussion today is on the family of light. So as always, before I start our seminar portion, I'd like to express the disclaimer. So we all recognize that the nature of these communications are not necessarily only through this form sonically, but also amongst who we are as a collective and representing the angelic realms of the Galactic Council, where we are with you, providing also the intuitive information transfer or downloads, if you will, via the information as we attempt to connect with you and express the divine nature of this experience we are having as one collective on all levels, including that of the etherics. So once again, we ground ourselves, we open our hearts, and we focus. The family of light, ladies and gentlemen. The intent is to give a little background, if you will, as far as the nature of our mission in being here on the surface of planet Earth. Of course, the human experience here within the hell planes or on the hell planes, the lower frequencies, has been a very long one where who we are of the council of the Galactic Federation of Light has experienced many challenges, if you will, amongst the nature of this experience and the evolution of the human species. Amongst the many cycles, this last cycle, galactic year, if you will, the 26,000 years that we are unfolding or wrapping up at this time. In the middle of it, we reached somewhat of a unexpected snag, if you will, where humanity evolved to a certain point and was still deeply within the frequencies of separation, where within this 13,000 years, basically the half of this cycle, we've had to basically start over again and move into a rapid, a gradually rapid incline, if you will, in the evolution of the species. And that is within the last 13,000 years that I'm expressing. So at this point, know that heaven decreed that it was necessary and a special gift for the planet, experienced so much turmoil within this reality where the planet Earth experience to be here amongst Earth humanity is one of the darkest and most difficult evolutionary experiences within this sector of space. So in layman's terms, being here on planet Earth and evolving as far as the evolution of this species, including the mission that we have in maintaining the light, has been nothing other than tough on a spiritual level, which is a foundational aspect of our existence. It's been very, very tough here. However, I digress. We're here now, and heaven decrees have brought upon the blessings of the arrival of our galactic fleet, including our ground crew of the 144,000, and of course the population of the 6 million Starseed Indigo, Lightworker Indigo collective here on the planet Earth. And for the most part, these souls are here to serve a very specific mission, and that is to usher in the golden age of consciousness here on planet Earth in physicality. Now, this is quite different from any other evolutionary experience on any other planets within this galaxy and universe on certain levels. Based on the rapid nature of the evolution, 13,000 years is a very short linear space for the evolutionary process. It may seem to be a very extensive amount of time in human terms. However, the evolution of a soul, as far as the frequency of a soul in allowing itself to be harvestable into a heavenly realms reality, that's a very short period of time, a period of linear time for that particular experience. However, once again, based on the circumstances of planet Earth, the nature of this experience as a whole, heaven's decrees and the talks amongst our galactic crew and the councils as far as the nature of humanity's experience, it has been decided that the tools, the personnel necessary for such a process, the physical tools and advanced technology necessary for such a process would be granted to planet Earth and its species to allow for such a transformation in this short period of time. So, I won't get into the details of the nature of the transition completely. I will touch or summarize just a bit on the nature of the gifts that are being provided. Of course, this involves the technology, the crystal technology that's already being tailored in the inner earth at present for each and every one of you here on this ascension path based on your present frequency of being, as far as the nature and what is necessary within your healing. Of course, not only that, the technology that will be responsible for the cleaning of the air, water, and food supplies here on the planet, the technology necessary to provide the abundance necessary to heal on all fronts, on all levels, for all physical beings here on this path. Of course, the staff, which has been basically assigned and continues to grow in this now moment. Of course, who we are of the Ashtar Command Fleet has been assigned for the first contact mission here on the surface of planet Earth. However, based on the numbers that are awakening, many ascended masters from many planes of existence by the millions are being assigned to work with our command in assisting humanity at present, where these souls will serve as individual personal mentors of yours, where we're speaking of the millions of souls who are actually going to experience the physical ascension. And when I say physical ascension, I mean physical ascension. You're not going to die and then ascend. You're experiencing the physical symptoms of this ascension process based on the fact that your body is changing now. Your light body is weaving itself together based on the elevation of your frequency and the arrival of many, many layers of photonic light here on the surface world. So you're moving through a metamorphosis at present. This is the nature of the physical symptoms that you're having as of now. So this is taking place. The personnel are being provided. The technology is there. And of course, last but not least, the presence of many of you who are our Lightworker Indigo Starseed community, which would represent our galactic crew. So with that being said, now let's get into the nature of your presence. So, isolation, ridicule, and judgment. Once again, isolation, ridicule, and judgment. There are many very dark, lower frequency labels that humanity entertains when it comes to being different. Strange, weird, crazy, just to name a few. You're familiar with these vibrations. You're familiar with these titles. You're familiar with these particular frequencies, this isolation, this judgment and ridicule for being who you are, seeing what no one else sees, having the inclination or attraction towards that which resonates with you on a deep level. A very strong affinity to extraterrestrial life, to the movies that some of us hold dear, Star Trek and Star Wars and E.T. and Babylon 5 and Ghost in the Machine, and once again this science fiction vibration, if you will. There's an attraction to these realities. The idea that life is vast and abundant throughout the galaxy, throughout the multiverse, is not something new to you. It's not something far-fetched for you. In actuality, you feel very comfortable with such a reality. Be with yourself for a moment. I'm expressing this to allow you the opportunity to feel a very sensitive place within yourself right now. A very delicate frequency of being, almost a fabric deep within yourself right now. And recognizing that life is infinitely intelligent. You recognize that there are no mistakes here. There are no mistakes here. And you, observing this communication right here, right now, are experiencing your design. And within that design, there is absolutely no room for chance, doubt, mistakes, errors, coincidences, or fear whatsoever. The intelligence that allows you to breathe, to sense, to operate, to hear, to see. The intelligence that allows for us to communicate all over the surface of this planet at this present moment is responsible for your presence here right now. I say all of this to say or to reiterate that there is a deep, absolutely incomprehensible purpose of your presence here in this now moment. And to feel that we, and not necessarily the construct that you see, Lavelle Zimmerman. I speak from a vast collective. And when I say we, I speak of who we are via Galactic Council and who I am as Archangel Michael, Ra, Commander Ashtar. To feel that we are speaking to you by mistake is the greatest error in consciousness that there could ever be. Life is amazingly beautiful. However, not to be underestimated and extremely complex. I see the picture of Neo on the Matrix when he first met the Oracle, the older black lady in the kitchen that was rather ordinary and bland in color. The face that he made in actually connecting with the Oracle, who was supposed to be the one that would inform him if he was the one or not. This was a perfect analogy and depiction of the nature of life itself. The ways of the heavens, the ways of the divine are not of a typical imagery that the logical mind would conceive of. It would be easier to embrace or digest the nature of this information if I was a 30 to 40 years older than I am now, and I didn't wear fitted hats or jewelry or make rap music or whatever the case may be. It would be slightly a bit easier for the ego mind to digest the nature of what's taking place now and what's being communicated. However, once again, the divine is much more intelligent than Hollywood, much more intelligent than what you've been taught here on the Hell Plains. So with that being said, it's necessary to recognize that There is but divinity here, and what is being expressed right now is for you, in actuality by you, and being the most important information that is being expressed to you in this now moment. Lightworkers, dear lightworkers, recognize this: you are the souls. You are the souls that have reached a vibrational frequency that has allowed for you to ascend. You're evolved souls. Being native to the human experience as human souls, you have evolved to the point where you're prepared to ascend. However, the nature of your current presence, is that of a volunteer. You volunteered to stay. You volunteered to stay here on earth and serve. Your desire is to serve. You recognize the density and nature of what it is to be here on planet Earth. You recognize your own alignment and basically have experienced all that Earth humanity had to offer. However, based on your level of spiritual maturity in recognizing the nature of existence and the most incredible gift that physical existence has to offer, you decide to continue here in the physical and continue to serve. Those of our Indigo community, Indigo, dear Indigo. And there's a lot of confusion surrounding the nature of an Indigo soul. However, Indigos are very old souls, very, very old souls. And in actuality, you found your place in the heavens as well. You've evolved beyond the existence of the human experience. However, your spiritual maturity as well has moved you into the capacity of being a volunteer here on planet Earth. You have many special gifts. Not to say that the light workers don't have special gifts. Once again, you have evolved in spiritual maturity to a degree where you have agreed to continue your service to others through your own healing, through your own experience of evolving here on planet Earth, where your gifts were refined to a point where you have basically volunteered your services, your gifts, the things that you cultivated here within the human experience to humanity. Indigos, you've done the same. However, many of you have cultivated gifts of a most divine nature, which involve supernatural abilities. Supernatural abilities, that of divination and working with the energies of the unseen. These are your gifts. You have them, you're here. It was your decision. You're a volunteer now in service to the light. Both Indigos and light workers. After your mission is complete here, you are to join our Galactic Federation of Light and continue on with this service in different aspects of existence throughout creation, different galaxies in alignment with the missions that we have here within this sector of space and beyond. This is the nature of your mission. You are destined to be the guardians of this planet based on your willingness to serve and take care of Gaia as she's taking care of you over the generations and millennia. Your presence is recognized and most noble to voluntarily stay here on planet Earth and being one of the darkest and most difficult experiences here in the sector of space. And you are honored. However, you're still cultivating your gifts through your services that you're providing at present. Once again, the heavens greet you and are most honored and admire you for your presence, where your gifts and your skills that you continue to cultivate here on the planet will evolve to levels beyond comprehension, where you will serve the whole of the multiverse in ways that only one could imagine. So with that being said, we greet you and we thank you from the bottom, from the depths of our being, for being here. Starseeds, you are here. Thank you for being here. You know who you are. You volunteered to be here. However, your voluntary service is a tad bit different from those of the Indigo and Lightworker community. The clarion call throughout the universe, this universe, over 13,000 years ago, was sent out based on a call of the Galactic Council to the councils of heaven through the logos within this sector of space, based on the density and difficulty of the evolution of the human species. It was necessary for us to select 144,000 of the best, most skilled souls in ascension in this universe. The opportunity to be in physicality, to incarnate within the physical vehicle and be here on planet Earth was basically, actually is a glorious opportunity for many species throughout this universe, far and wide. When I say countless, I mean countless. In human terms, this would be like applications. Countless souls intended to be here, really wanted to be here to participate in this mission. They recognize the glory of incarnating in a human vehicle and actually activating it. However, we only had room for 144,000, and being a sacred number that was decided by the Galactic Council, or the councils of heaven through the Galactic Council, which was a number, or the magic number, for all extraterrestrial incarnates here on planet Earth. We only had room for 144,000, and this was necessary for the completion of this mission. These souls were trained aboard our motherships. 1/3 of the 2,050,000 ships present here assigned for this mission were dedicated to the training of these souls. And this training was especially upon ascension. This training was geared towards ascension in a rapid pace ascension, where these souls would serve in many capacities based on the orchestrations of infinite intelligence through the decisions of the Galactic Council, and which would be the most effective means of cracking the system that the Dark had created here on planet Earth. In completion of that training, our ships moved through a time portal from a future timeline. Millions and millions of years in the future, we time hop through a wormhole into this sector of space directly. And basically, at that point, we would incarnate here on the planet, in the physicality, on the surface of planet Earth in waves. After the training had commenced and was completed, and we made the transition into this timeline. Once again, in being from the future, millions of years from the future, this would be considered the past. Millions of years in the past for us. However, many of us, not only on the ground, but aboard our motherships, have had human experiences and are actually representing the human species millions of years in the future. Not all of us, only a small fraction of us represent this collective. However, there are those amongst us that actually represent humanity millions of years in the future, Earth humanity in millions of years in the future. Your mission is specific. You're evolved beings from other worlds with a specific mission to serve planet Earth as an organism and her species, which is the human species. And through that service, you would usher in the golden age of consciousness here on this planet. The nature of your incarnation would be exactly as humanity's. The limitations, the conditions, the physical conditions, and environment, the amnesia of unawareness, just as the human species experiences, this would be the conditions of your arrival here on planet Earth. This is what you signed up for. The only advantage that you would have amongst humanity would be that within your genes is encoded a wake-up call. Within your being, within your genes, is encoded a wake-up call. Now, this wake-up call is not specific to an age or any other factor within the linear experience. Based on your contract, your gifts, and the things that you're here to do, that wake-up call would activate itself at one particular point within this incarnation. Some of you woke at a very early age. Some of you woke up at a much later age. However, it's within your genes to awaken. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying that that gene is guaranteed to wake you, because once again, we're here within a free will reality, and the signs, the intentions can be there. However, within a free will reality, it's still a choice to awaken. I'm here to tell you today that at this moment, most of the 144,000 starseeds, members of our ground crew here on planet Earth, are not awakened yet. Some by design, however, some are not. Some just have not awakened. They have decided to continue within the realms of separation. However, once again, this is a free will choice and something that's necessary for the soul and being of the greatest spiritual benefit to the whole. In saying that, you realize that there are no free tickets here. It's no guarantee. There's work involved. As much as we would love to take all of our crew back at the conclusion of this mission, this is not possible, being that we're in a free will reality. And being that those here have volunteered to be here and basically recognize the nature of coming here. Your destiny is that of a physical angel. Once again, your destiny, and this is not exclusive to Starseeds. This is, I'm speaking of all Lightworkers, Indigos, and humans evolving on this ascension path. Your destiny is that of a physical angel. The graduation of the human experience, which ascension is, you're on the path of graduating the human experience. This is by far the greatest honor a soul could possibly embrace within this sector of the galaxy. And this is where you recognize the admiration we have for you in continuing forth and unfolding such a process. Your destiny as physical angels, as galactic humans, galactic humanoids, so back to our Starseeds, ground crew. And recognize this, there's only 50 of you connecting with these transmissions at the moment. And you know who you are. It's just necessary for you to know who you are. You're not looking for anyone to tell you who you are. It's only necessary that you know who you are and you trust who you are and embrace it and accept it in confidence, because this confidence is necessary to be a leader. The leader does not need validation, does not need confirmation. It does not need to be told what to do and who he or she is as God. This is the nature of a leader. So it's only necessary for you to know who you are. As Starseeds, you specialize in rapid spiritual weight loss. In rapid spiritual weight loss, if you will, this is but a term, is brought about by your training. You receive many specialized paths of training aboard our motherships prior to incarnating here on planet Earth. And this training involves rapid spiritual weight loss. And what this is basically the throwing off of limiting beliefs, habits, and things of this nature. In a couple years, that the average soul would take many, many lifetimes to overcome. This is what you was trained to do. You know how to do this. You're disciplined in this aspect. Rapid spiritual weight loss, to recognize your nature, and through your intentions, through your focus, through your discipline, through your evolutionary maturity, toss that which is lowering your frequency and move forward and evolve, skyrocket, if you will, back into the heavenly realms. You specialize in this. You're quite familiar with the ascension process. You're quite familiar with the grounding process. None of this is new to you. Reason being, you've experienced missions of this nature before. Like I said, we selected the best of the best to participate in this process. To lessen or decrease the margin of error, so there would not be more than half of our crew that got stuck in the human experience. So you're very familiar with this process. You've done it on other planets before. You recognize the vastness of life that is out there. Strong-willed, independent. There's a sense of entitlement. And this entitlement that you have, this self-respect, this love, this humility, however, in alignment with this entitlement, comes with your sense of knowing that you deserve to be here. Why? Because you were selected to be here. You volunteered to be here in service. You deserve to be here. This is the nature of this frequency of being that you are so familiar with. Many of you are highly intelligent, very active, quick-witted. You recognize the nature of spirituality. And when I say spirituality, not necessarily speaking in religious terms, but spirituality, the unseen. You have an affinity and a deep connection with the unseen. Why? Because of this evolved nature. As a child, you could sense spirits and see the angelic. You recognize the nature of animals and the
Little kid especially.
absolutely. The gift of sensitivity. Recognize these things on a deep level. Many of you were diagnosed with ADHD. because of the quick nature and a sense of easily becoming bored with experience, with schooling, with the more dismal, slow aspects of indoctrination here amongst the programming of humanity. Picky with food, many of you have been described as naive. We spoke on this before. Existing beyond fear, to recognize you're safe, you're okay. I will close with this. I think I've moved beyond our 30-minute mark of our seminar, but I will close with this. You all have very special gifts, and you're here on earth to share those gifts. And when I say special gifts, I really mean off-worldly gifts. Some in earthly terms, but off-worldly gifts. You're here to build the new earth through these gifts. However, we speak over and over again, and we continue to observe the activity of those of you still on the fence about your identity and who you are. Your creativity, the grounding work we speak of so often. This is where you're developing those gifts. Those gifts have to unfold through you. However, your participation is absolutely necessary. Being creative is not a part-time thing. Not at this moment in time, not in amongst this transition. The gifts that you have are very special. And once again, you were selected to be here on this planet to share those gifts. However, those gifts cannot reach their precipice unless you cultivate them on a daily basis. This is the nature of your light work.
Earth Gym.
Absolutely. This is the nature of your light work. We're not expressing, oh, you need to be creative, and they're very sacred purposes of the cultivation of this creativity. You have it within you to play around, regardless of where you are on the creative scale, based on the judgments of the mind. You're here to cultivate these gifts because the gifts that you have, your ability to write, create, cook, draw, sing, dance, all of the above are magical. And through these gifts, the new earth is manifested. Through these gifts, the heavenly realms are unfolded. Through these gifts, your co-creation crystallizes the new world you so envision. As renegades, you don't like structure. You don't like the confines of timelines and the pressure that humanity so enjoys pushing on its citizens. You're renegades. You enjoy going against the grain. And in actuality, this is what you're here to do. By no means am I speaking of being destructive or out of alignment with that of peace, with the truth of peace. However, you are here to stretch the norm through your creative abilities, through your essence, through your energy, through the visions or the visionary skills that you have in recognizing the nature of the divine truth. This is where you are breaking the mold that is the bondage that is so common here amongst Earth humanity. The renegades of light, all of you, thank you for being here. This is our talk on the family of light. I consider all of you one of us, and who we are is one family. We will take a small break for a musical selection, and then we will return to get into our discussion portion and expressing and exchanging information and the nature of your inquiries, so we continue to build as one family as always. Thank you for being here. We love you. Let's see.
You want to say something more? Yeah, of course. Go ahead. Handle your business.
Now we're going to a quick break dedicated to our sponsors, Universe. Before we go into this next track selection, I had a few things to say. I forgot what most of them were. I got a brain fart. But just actually on that note, I had a dream the other day, man. I was an astronaut. Actually in a spaceship, more conventional spaceship.
Lightship pull up.
But it hadn't lifted off yet. But for some reason, I was able to float around to the different chambers and everything. And I was in the area, where the food is at. And I was like, hey, you got to go sit down before we take off. I'm like,
of course.
Why I got to sit down? Like, just take off. It was hot, though. It was a cool dream.
That's dope. Astronaut of mine.
I don't know where that came from. It was fat.
Blast off, baby.
Blast off. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's it.
Also, thank you guys for the people that just tuning in and the people that has been here for a while. Of course, I have to push the Trap Heaven album that's coming out on Saturday the 12th. We've been working hard, especially these two guys on this album. It's some bangers. I know most of you probably never really listened to hip hop before in your life, but now is the time. And I hope you got some pretty good speakers in your car.
Yeah, because you're gonna need them.
You got some speakers on the roof too, though.
Yeah. Speakers on the roof and speakers in your car.
We had them Bose banging.
Yeah, Bose are very, very nice for this album. Shout out to Bose. Holla at me.
They was banging real hard. But like I said, Saturday we have the Trap Heaven album release, barbecue, family friend get together, mixed with an after party. We will be going live from 3 different pages, so you will get a chance to be blessed. You will get a chance to be blessed. It's going down. Universal Brothers in the house. Let's build. We'll go to this next selection. What's up, Cease?
I gotta calm them down real quick. He over here being an astronaut. He over here saying, "Mama, yeah." All right. So anyway, the last song that you guys heard during the introduction was actually part of our last album. It's Dun Data, and that was Lightship Pull Up. Y'all can check up into the comments. You can go ahead and check that out. This next selection is a little smooth. It's called Half Sleep. I thought it was relevant to what Commander Ashtar was talking about. We'll have 144,000 here working for the liberation of humanity, but also some of them aren't awakened yet, and it's by free will choice, and some of them are still, dealing with the separations of what we're dealing with every day on this planet. So without further ado, this will be Half Sleep. I will also put the link in the comments, so enjoy the song, and we'll be back in about 6 minutes. All right, thank you for tuning in. We love each and every one of y'all. Let's keep working. Global healers. Yeah. Chill. Turn my volume all the way up this time. Yeah, there we go. Pop, pop, pop.
Because on the road.
Yep.
Under the ghetto boys and lay like dealing with the grind and all this shredded earthly crap. My bitch is but every now and then I lose my step and find the rhythm once again and realize to accept and realize to accept and realize to accept and realize to accept. It's just another hologram plus the service the best and take my time and write these rhymes and realize that I'm blessed and realize that I'm blessed and realize that I'm blessed. Walk to heaven in the moment, opening up my chest beyond the fear and such and recognizing I am the source. Of course, I am the source as well as the force of the cause. And lose the planet, strength, so the matrix into the source. Recipes we rock the galaxies, intended to feast. But other locals when I finish all my earthly peace. I dream to be my please and see the end of.
I found a baby.
Suffering. I sleep and embrace the day that is untrue. Mercy, we take it slow and no double.
Sorry about that, folks.
Who baby is that? Like a baby in here? Who for you ain't sharing pussy?
All right. Hey, listen, here we go.
Just a daydream. Just a daydream, y'all. Yeah. Always one small change. Work. It's always imagine.
Where are you?
Sit down. Do your own inner focus.
Yeah.
It's crystallization. I call this everyday's experience. We on the ground now. We'll let it ride. But we fell asleep together. Comfortable, slow. Fluffy pleasures and heavy pillows. Over the windows where the blown smoke goes. And mirrors, they're broken. Cutting baby powder. All the magicians do in the shadows. The bars closing. About to open up their power. About an hour. One news to two. As the hot sun blends with the midnight cool. Follow your nose and release your fears. Clean your ears. I said release your fears. As your lungs begin to fill your skin, your body, your limbs. Can you wake up together?
There you go.
And begin again.
Coming right now.
Word. Hey, welcome back to Let's Build. We get into our discussion portion, which is a favorite of many of you. We get to interact and communicate as far as the nature of today's subject matter, which is, the family of light. Once again, a great pleasure and honor to connect with all of you in this now moment from all of us here at Universal Brothers and Sisters. What's good, team? What you got, bro?
Oh, man. Everybody just basically coming back on right now. But, Pam, you've been with us for a little bit. How long has she been with us? About 6 months-ish.
Mm-hmm.
She's catching on to yourself, Pam. You're not catching on to what we got going on. So big ups to you. I guess you can see your progress and what it is that you're doing and where you came from or whatever. But I'm proud of you. Remember that one time on the bus? Okay, let me see what we got. Just a lot of lovely comments from Liliana, Alice, Sharon, Mel, Deanne. Just a lot of nice comments. No deep questions, actually. Yeah, like I said, this portion of Let's Build, basically, we want you guys to interact with us, basically. Say what you feel. Say, I don't want to say ask questions, but interact with us in a certain way where we all can be beneficial towards one another. That's why
if
it's
you
called
have
Let's Build.
inquiries, ask your inquiries. This is the nature of healing. This is the opportunity to clarify and move beyond the dependency of the question answer paradigm or cycle, if you will, where once again we're here to connect with you and express the nature of what it is that we're doing here and the nature of the family of light. So,
and on that note, you probably already have the answers. We're just here to basically help you enlighten on your own answer. But Derek has something. A lot of times creativity feels forced or uncontrollable. I'm guessing that he wants to know why. Creativity.
Forced or uncontrollable. Once again, creativity is never to be forced. In actuality, is not to be controlled either. These are both ego mind activities. The force of creativity, if it's out of alignment with one's excitement, and of course the controlling, where creativity is a natural activity, such as breathing. Just as inspiration is natural, it's a activity that is embraced along with your evolution. As you ground and move back into the heart space more and more on a daily basis, creativity becomes a natural aspect of your being. To create, to visualize, to cook, to breathe, to exercise, to write, to express yourself, to talk, to dance, to move. It is integrated within your presence, just as movement is. Of course, when we say creativity, we speak of the motion, the idea of existence itself, and embracing that within your own frequency of being. It's a natural aspect of your presence. Of course, it's not to be forced. As you align, as you ground, an everyday aspect of your experience is that creativity. You're here on a mission. The mere existence of life in an awakened state is inspiring. As you continue with your light work, as you continue with your grounding work, you naturally feel a sense of creativity within your presence when you get up. When we express these transmissions on a daily basis, it's not, oh, I have to write, I have to make a song, as if it's a task or a duty. It's a great honor and pleasure to create on a daily basis. The more you do it, the more you ground, the more you mature in spiritual maturity, the more it becomes an integrated aspect of your presence where it's a joy to do so. You would like to do it.
That neural network right there.
Most definitely. It's a continuous process of evolving. And as you align, you recognize creativity just becomes a natural aspect of your being. If you're forcing yourself, this is the ego.
I don't know how you could force yourself.
Attempting to.
I'm just gonna force you.
Yeah, of course. The mind, because the thing is that the mind, what's happening is you're viewing this information, you're seeing the activities of others, you're feeling the obligation of being a starseed, light worker, or indigo here on the planet, and you recognize the nature of all this unfolding, and you feel obligated, like, oh, I gotta create. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do because I'm not creating. And in actuality, this is double talk of the ego mind attempting to sell you the idea that is actually you. This is the voice of the dark attempting to gain your good graces and assuming that it has your best interest in mind, and speaking of your light work as far as feeling guilty about not doing it. This is just dark energy attempting to sell itself to you as if it is you, and it's not. The voice in your head is not your own.
Sound like a janky manager or something.
Exactly. Oh, you're not doing your job. You're not creating this. It's pressure. You can't create under pressure. It becomes a bore. It becomes a problem. Exactly, it becomes a job. And when you feel as if the gift, the blessing, the miracle of life is a job, it becomes a irritant and you resist it. But this is the work of the dark, of course, and it would like you to resist what you naturally came here on planet Earth to do. So once again, Derek, follow your joy. Do what you do. You know what you're here to do. You have the gifts. It's just you must allow yourself the space to embrace the gifts as a gift versus them being a problem and allowing the voice of the ego to deter you from doing what you came here to do.
I don't know if this is on our topic, but Andrea wants to know about the Great American Solar Eclipse. I'm sure you can.
That is off topic.
I wouldn't call it the Great American Solar Eclipse. Solar eclipse.
The eclipse that was visible in North America. I appreciate your inquiry, and yes, we did experience such a transition here recently, or coming. What's this? Is it the 17th? I want to say 17th.
I think it is coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
However, once again, as I expressed not too long ago, these transitions have been forever. Change is constant. The portals and celestial movements throughout the stars do not dictate the nature of your presence. You do. The decisions that you make do. Your sense of being, your sense of presence does. As you ground and you evolve in spiritual maturity, you recognize that your life is not dependent on the next retrograde or the next full moon or where your sun sign is. You recognize these as celestial, however, on a deep or deeper level, rather superficial aspects of the experience that do not dictate the nature of your presence and the activities that unfold within your reality. They have their place. However, to feel that you're subjected to exterior movements to dictate the nature of your present experience is basically to subject yourself to the illusion being responsible for the things that take place. The Great American Eclipse, quote unquote, is affecting many as of now. And we're talking about linear time and the anticipation and expectation of such an event. This is counter to your presence. This is counterproductive as far as a focus when it comes to your presence, because your presence is the only true reality there is. The most important celestial alignment is that of this now moment. So yes, it has its effects. However, those effects are determined by the nature of your presence now. You gotta go.
Liliana had a pretty good idea. She wants to connect with us live during our Thursday gatherings. We can make that possible. We have enough technology here to to go in live with you while we're doing this. So it's coming. Derek said, thanks for the clarification. And Vicky Fabian, what is the quickest way to ground?
Be still. Grounding or stillness is an activity of presence beyond the illusion of linear time. So when you speak of the quickest, the grounding or the stillness of oneself and returning to the heart space beyond the linear illusion in this now moment is where you ground. To be here, stop what you're doing, be still, close your eyes, and feel your heart. Grounded, grounding. This is only one practice, one activity amongst the many that are responsible for a soul's grounding. Just being here and present right now is where the grounding takes place, and you recognize the nature of the illusion and who you are as the source of this hologram. Being present.
He said everybody that just came back in, we basically going into the open forum where we are basically being expressive with each other. I can't even talk to them. I'm eating Cheez-Its right now. So Lucy, how do we know what our specific mission is? I know we're here in service to all, but does each of us have a specific mission?
Yes, all have a specific mission. However, that specific mission is specific to you, to your knowing. As you ground and go within yourself, your assignment is recognized. However, that assignment is beyond analysis. It's not on paper. It's not for you to look at. It's not for you to analyze and say, oh, I came to do this. It's not for you to identify. Once again, this is the mind and the attempt to label, to take account for what it is that you're here to do. There's many specific missions that you all are here to carry out. However, the nature of these missions are vast and complex and involve very integrated aspects of your experience as a whole. There's people that you came to connect with. There's communications that you came to pursue. There's creativity that you came to unfold. There's many activities that are integrated within your mission, where this is a truly integrated mission and not necessarily, oh, Lucy, you're here to make drawings. It's a lot more complex than that. It's a lot greater than that. There's entire dialogues within the Akashic records as to the nature of your mission and all that you came here to carry out in alignment with your soul alignment and your ascension here on the planet. So once again, how do you know? This is within your grounding. This is within your inner work. This is within the nature of the work that you're doing now. As you ground, as you remain present, you become more confident in the nature of your presence, and you realize that nothing is out of alignment and everything is perfect. If anything, you're doing exactly what you need to do right now. And it is only up to you to know that. To know that what you're doing right now is exactly what you're supposed to do in alignment with your mission. So once again, it's your confidence that knows that you are carrying out your mission. However, that confidence is based on your own healing, your ability to trust yourself more. This is how you know you're carrying out your mission.
I like what Laura responded on that. Laura Marie, good response. I feel the same way like how you feel. She says, she quotes, I'm not really sure of my purpose here. Okay, I'm sure about my purpose though. I only know what I feel inside. I have questions at times. However, I know that staying in allowance and continuing to ground myself is the key to knowing.
Of course.
Right on that.
This is it. The questions are merely the ego mind. The heart has no question. Love always knows. But once again, as you stated, your grounding work is where you are dissolving the ego mind identity, which is responsible for all the questions. The heart, who you truly are, has no questions whatsoever. It knows exactly what you're here to do. And this is where you're feeling. This is where you're connected with the intuition. This is where you are who you are in truth, beyond the activity of doubt, fear, chaos, and that of lower frequencies. So you know what you know, and it is within your grounding work that you know, like you know that you know.
Just know. So Vicky is asking you if you felt downloads from Alliance Portal.
Yes, of course. This was the Lionsgate 8-8 that you speak of happened on last Tuesday. Once again, happy birthday or happy belated birthday, Ellen. Your Lionsgate portal birthday was absolutely amazing and beautiful. The Lionsgate of 2012 was my not necessarily initial awakening, but my activation here on the planet and being Commander Ashtar in active service and duty in a very integrated way as far as my lifestyle is concerned. As far as this past 8-8 Lionsgate, of course, these downloads are a daily aspect of my presence and continuing to align and be here to serve such a purpose. So these downloads take place on a daily basis, and I'm very aware of them. However, the gates do usher in and cater to greater downloads based on the energetic nature of the surface of the planet, where I do receive greater portions of these downloads during such portals, which is beautiful and a great honor, gracious enough to receive such downloads. Yeah.
Basically, Lisa she's responding to Laura. She also resonates with what she said, but she's still looking for some specific reason that she should do, like, on a daily basis.
Reason?
It's like, I'm gonna assume that you feeling kind of empty, that you're missing some particular point. Maybe because you're looking outside of yourself for that.
What's she saying?
More healing, more grounding, inner work, etc. But I feel I need to do something on a daily specifically also for some reason.
Lucy?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking outside of yourself.
Embrace that intent. Embrace that intent. If once again, it's necessary to know that you're doing exactly what you need to do now. If anything, to feel that there's an exterior activity that's necessary, this is more so brought about by the mind's analysis and impatience. When you calm, you know. Just calm down. Know that there's something taking place. If anything, follow your heart. As you ground more, you'll align with this activity more and more. However, the most important work that you are doing is grounding yourself, healing yourself, aligning yourself. This is the most important work you could ever do here on the planet. This is where you're serving all life throughout the heavens, through the grounding work. The most important work you're doing, and let me reiterate that, the most important work that you're doing is not anything in the physical. It's what you're doing inside. This is the most important and most potent work that you're doing here on the planet. And it's internal work. It's not external work. I'm doing this, I'm feeding the homeless, I'm giving out clothes, I'm planting trees, I'm putting crystals in the ground or in the water. These things have their place. However, nothing trumps the internal energetic work that you are doing. And that internal work is based on you releasing the doubt, fear, confusion as far as the nature of your presence. If anything, shining the light of truth, representing the light, it remains in radiating the frequency of peace. And this is the most important work you can ever do here in the physical.
I hope that kind of sort of answers your question, Laura. I mean, she's basically saying, how do you deal with the hesitation and wondering? And she doesn't know, she believes that she's part of the 144,000 and, you know, something towards that direction, but she questions it.
Okay. Well, once again,
So
the mind is
it's
responsible for all the questions. This is where the grounding continues to be most important, Laura. Once again, the grounding is most important. And if you feel you resonate with this particular frequency and these energies, it's cool. It's great. However, now, it's nothing to do per se. It's an internal job. And that internal job is eternal. You're going inside now. And through continuing to go inside, through those intentions, the things that are necessary in your life will reveal themselves to you. The daily operations or physical proactivity of the grounding work or your activities here in the physical will reveal themselves to you. However, first and foremost, there's patience, there's trust, and there's the internal focus of going within yourself to recognize what's taking place here. If anything, releasing the doubt and calming the activity of the mind. Right now, you're partially allowing the talking in your head to drive the nature of what you know in your heart. This is fear telling love what to do. Your heart knows, love is intelligent. However, the voice in your head of fear, of doubt, of confusion is telling your heart what's taking place. And through voicing the doubt and confusion or belief systems or whatever the case may be, you're basically allowing this fear to basically express itself as more prominent in your existence than that love and knowing and confidence within your heart is. So more healing is necessary until you gather the strength and confidence within yourself to trust yourself over the voice in your head, which are the lower frequencies of the dark.
For Derek, that title question, I would like for you to directly write this guy. And because basically I'm going to assume you're going in the same direction that he went through in his awakening or whatever. So about the title that he should give himself or that someone should give him or something.
Title he should give himself?
Like yours,
Astro
for instance,
and all this stuff.
What about it?
So he was basically asking based off of
Yeah,
his ratings.
I mean, we got more questions.
It's a lot of stuff popping up.
Okay.
So basically, where is it at? He's asking, I know it's been said that no one is here to tell you who you are. However, Centurion Chris, whatever his name is, Jackson, told you who you were. I'm on the fence about the Astro title, and it's like, do I remove this title from my social media or embrace it? Because I do not want to misrepresent. It's quite a pickle personally. I've seen in transmission that the nature of our identities come with our individual writings.
This is analysis. You're basically attempting to mirror my path with your own. This is limited. This is, once again, I had no intentions of bearing any title. My main focus upon awakening was freedom for all, beyond the enslavement, beyond the atrocities of existing within the limitations here on planet Earth. The title was expressed to me because of the role that I played in being within the nature of my mission. I already felt this, and once again, through the nature of the rapid response or the rapid shedding of the belief systems and continuous grounding and focus of the nature of my mission, it was expressed to me because of the role that I would be playing as second in command after Centaurian returned to the motherships and expressed the nature of my presence and being the command that would take over after his departure. The urgency, if you will, was necessary because of the nature of my mission. My mission is my mission. However, once again, it's necessary for you to embrace yours and trust where you are, where this exists beyond titles. If anything, the title was presented for the purpose of disclosure alone, to disclose the nature of who we are as extraterrestrials in the spiritual hierarchy and who I am as Commander Ashtar here in leading the way for such a process. No, everybody is not Commander Ashtar. However, once again, I embrace the title with complete humility and focus completely on the healing that's necessary and not necessarily the titles. If anything, here at the house, they call me Z. They call me AZ. Not Commander Ash. They do this sometimes when we express and formally when we come to express spiritual guidance and things of this nature. However, I don't wear that badge over my head as if I'm searching for identity. If anything, the tattoo on my arm says, I am God. And this is by all shadow of a doubt who I am. I embrace this. I've embraced this since I was 12 years old. So once again, we move beyond titles and recognize who we are as the creator. And the majority of our energy is focused on the service, on the work, and not necessarily the titles. They matter little. In actuality, the thing that turned me off about the awakening community upon my initial awakening was the fact that most of the souls within the chat groups and organizations were arguing amongst each other about identity. Oh, I'm Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, I'm this, I'm Commander Vitron from such and such star system, and this, that, and the third. And at the end of the day, my focus was on freedom. I didn't care who I was. I wanted to see freedom on this planet. So I digress. Once again, Derek, you follow your own heart. If this is something that you would like to embrace, okay. However, once again, it's a suggestion to focus on the work and less on the titles.
This is one of the most interesting questions I've heard. Where did it go? Fernando, what is grounding? As a specific activity you can practice other than having the intent. This might give you some
grounding. Grounding is basically the soul moving out of the mind identity back into the heart space. The activities involving grounding are expansive, and it is a practice, because when it comes to grounding, we're talking about creativity and all spectrums of creativity, all the activities that involve doing things that remove one from the mind identity, the conscious existence within the mind that's focused on time and space. The activities that move one out of focusing on linear time. When a person is having a good time, I expressed before that when a person's having a good time, it's common amongst humanity to say, time flies when you're having fun. Well, when you're having fun and you're doing something that's within your equilibrium, or you're in a creative space and you exist beyond the focus of linear time, you forget to eat, you forget to, or what's going to happen next, or all this other kind of stuff. You're not thinking. You don't even forget. Like you forget to remember because you're outside of the mind identity. Grounding are the things that we do proactively within the physical and in the emotional and spiritual sense that move us from the head space back into the heart space. This is grounding, moving meditation. There's so many different practices that involves grounding. However, once again, they all involve activities that cater to us moving out of our head back into our heart and being completely present and beyond the illusion of linear time. This is the nature of grounding.
One more from Laura. Can others we interact with on a daily basis that operate on lower frequencies hold us back from the ascension process?
No. Why? Because you deliberately came here from a higher plane to exist amongst the darkness. And your existence here amongst the darkness was for the sole purpose of leading the way and providing a path out of the darkness, out of the lower frequencies for those who are open to make such a leap in evolution. As source, as God within this holographic reality, things in the hologram do not dictate or have dominion over the nature of your energetic presence. Nothing outside of you has dominion over the nature of your presence. Once again, if something outside of you has dominion over the nature of your presence, it can dictate how you feel inside. You're being emotionally, energetically manipulated by the illusion. Because once again, the illusion is that which is outside of you to allow yourself to continue to be manipulated, or your frequency of being internally be dictated by things going on outside of you or those around you. You're subjecting yourself to bondage outside of yourself. The illusion is holding you in bondage. And as God, you are omnipotent, omnipresent. You have the power to evolve beyond the illusion. No one has the power over you to decide where you are energetically. This is your presence. This is where grounding is necessary, because when you ground and you embrace a sense of presence, you're able to exist beyond the activities and the charades of the hologram. Why? Because you're God. What you got, bro?
What was it? I'd like to give a shout out to somebody in the house that expressed themselves to me today. Peace out to you. You're still here. No. I'm still here, so feel free to express yourself. Feel free to say what you got to say. Stop holding yourself back. I'm telling you, stop holding it back. What was the question there? They go clown me on this later. Man, what was it?
All that information, yeah.
From Frank. If we are fully embracing our heart space and being from that place, then what purpose does the mind have in 3D? Especially if we're thinking or intuiting per se from our heart at that point. Good question.
What's the purpose of the mind within 3D? He said 3D, right?
What's the purpose of the mind having? What's the purpose? What is the purpose? Oh, man.
Come on.
Damn, Cheez-Its, boy. Ooh, I need some Cheez-Its. Hold on. If we're fully embracing our heart space and being from that place, then what purpose does the mind have in 3D? Especially if we're thinking or intuitively per se from our heart at that point.
What's the purpose of the mind
in the 3D?
It's a catalyst of operation. Of course, if we're operating from the heart space, fully from the heart space, we're not questioning the nature of the mind. We exist. We're blessed. We exist within the frequency. Once again, the heart has no questions. When you're operating fully from the heart space, you have no questions. You have no questions. There are no questions of that nature. However, within full consciousness, the mind does have a purpose. The mind has the power to manifest through the ideas. Once again, when you're operating within full consciousness, you exist within the heart space. The purpose of the mind would be instant manifestation, where you basically use the thought patterns to create that which you intend to experience or see within the physical, an instant manifestation, where through the energies that's arriving on the planet now, we're constantly continuing to create, right? As these energies become stronger, we're continuing to harness manifestation energies, where the thought patterns that we choose to entertain are manifesting things within our physical reality. Within full consciousness, there is no use of the mind unless there is the purpose of manifestation. Souls exist within the heart space, and then it's like, oh yeah, this would be nice. Bam, there it is. Through the mind identity, through the visualization process, through the activity of the mind. This is what the mind has. This is the purpose of the mind within the higher planes of existence. As far as 3D is concerned, the mind has served as a catalyst up to this point, where basically it's a radio receiver experiencing the frequencies native to this plane of existence as of now, which are the lower frequencies. Now, as far as it being a catalyst, we've had the ability to decide and use our spiritual maturity to select the thought patterns that resonate with who we are at present, so we create the things that are necessary for our continuous alignment.
It was an excellent question.
Excellent question. However, once again, there's a tendency to say, I'm operating 100% from my heart, but, and then there's a question. And usually that question comes from the mind identity. When one operates fully from the heart space, there are no questions. There's only presence. There's only existence. There's only acceptance. There's only knowing what is this now moment, and all serving its purpose in divine order.
Mel, I think there will be a part 2 of this session. So, part 2, part 3, we're going to keep this going forever and more.
Any more questions, bro?
One more question.
Pause on that. Pause on all of that. Pause on all of that. For real, man.
What's up, bro?
Yo.
You stupid, bro.
Adult type of show.
Yeah, what is the head tilt chin lips on you going?
Myself against straight. Mike Tyson.
Oh, keep going, man.
Yo, chill, man. What else, bro?
Oh man, Ellen, I'm drinking some go-go juice. That's all I can tell you.
You drinking Kool-Aid, kind of fried.
Go-go juice. Jay Jacobs wants you to speak about the connections while our bodies are sleeping. Are we naturally in purity? This seems to be a truer reality to Jade.
Are we, what was that, impurity?
Mm-hmm.
Are we naturally in purity?
During our sleep?
Some green tea in my Yoda cup. That's like...
So, I'm glad you brought that up, Jade. Thank you for being here. Actually, you know what? We're at 1:44 right now. I'll take this point for us to take a small break. And after our break, we'll get to your question. And, you know, what song you guys feel?
Come on, Rich. Mask and blind. Come and show off your
We'll
head.
answer your inquiry, Jay, right after our break. We're going to take a small music break. It's 1:44. We're running up on 15 minutes left of our 2-hour discussion. If we run over, so what? It's our channel. So, you guys have any more inquiries and you wish to stay long, keep them coming, and we'll continue to entertain them. Thank you for being here for Let's Build. Now, discussion today is on the family of light. Once again, Jade, we will get back with you in just a second and express the nature of your inquiry. What you got, CeeLo?
Bon dia, Michelle. Bon dia.
Oh, you mean the thing? Yeah. The next drum we gonna play for y'all is my
Can't say
track.
y'all, you're from the West.
Huh? So what?
Can't say y'all, you're from the West.
Yeah, it's my recommendation for my drop. Stargate download. You know, it's my sci-fi action trailer music. You know what I mean? Enjoy
that. Enjoy a piece of that right there.
Eric Bidden. Without further ado, I put the link in for y'all too, so it's coming.
Lightwork animals. Total rolling. Yo, you flipping the pictures, I'm flipping the cheese on the shoulder, my juice, the rock, and I'm pissing it back and then turn up the track, that's a radical. I'm going so deep on the track, and yo, it's a bomb, yo, it's a scramble. It's a scramble. Jiggle, yo, go ahead and cover that cantaloupe. I'm solving it now, and I'm talking my language, I'm professing that with the mandible. Yo, what's my videos? So to be shooting out videos. I know what the cereal. Now we know about this a cereal. Like you be seeing that on Cheerios. I'm not from those stars and them rainbows. To suffering, got mad love for you. Please check your motions by the door, man. Backstage left, come back, ready to support them. Kids eat first. Gimme, this is why we was chosen. Come back to the try to guys with the light. Some of the truth come get you a slice. Driving too high. Go ahead, just let it burn. One day gon' learn. Today may be too soon, that's you and that. High noon, fix it quick like a motion big. Still missing the focus. I'm like I in the booth. So we'll shoot a thousand. Transition by shaking loose. Tell me you can see coming soon. We finish, Three, you know it's the game. Yo, I gotta get flowers and flow the young blows. The fellas ain't with us, we shimmering, yo. They jumping the speakers, the offer of them, yo. I get some culture, it's still up for real. I'm cool with the most. It's burning shit, I'm the million, bro. Look at the down, second the ground. Man, we were vision and sound. Sonically buzzing around like the dark. Officially, we go we from the heart. From the heart. Stay in my feelings, I feel the right, so you better relax. You can act the whole me. Got my crystals on me. Some of my million will fight the grid. I'm about the motion with my the kids. What up, sweet? Yo, show me how you like. Show me. Rock and roll, yo, the motor souls in the house. Hit it, put it up and give it to this house is a home. Yeah, so now we don't stop, you to the dome. Pull up the fire, lift it off the ground. Show, work, got my out. Show, the rest of hyperspace, what you know about that? Grind deep cause I'm the villain. And the balls are trying to kill me. Yeah, I'm smoking balls for the children. Come with me.
Dear family, we are the 11-dimensional beings and the Council of 9 is one unit. You are all beautiful. Today all of the new energies will be prepped to integrate in your light body. Preparing download now. Massive download now. Feel it. From this download you will know which galactic family you are connected with. We are restructuring your silica. If you hear this transition from us now, it means that you are in the right place and it was made to be for you. There is no coincidences. Know that you are intergalactic. Now we are opening the portal. Energy can move easily through the new timeline. Complete if their thoughts and deeds continue to be negative. We are here assisting you and encouraging you every day. Steady.
You're sharing this time? I always share. Share is caring.
We are ready for you. Complete.
I'm like the number
You
one
are
sheriff.
complete.
No, right now, Scotty is.
Watch that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're
You
back.
had to tell me about that though. I missed
Woo! So, thank you for joining us once again at our Let's Build. We're having a good time today, as you can see. Today's talk is on the family of light, and we are here to address Jade's question at present. Matter of fact, before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you all. Some of you already know him, some of you don't. However, this is the first time he's attending physically here, one of our Let's Builds. One of our family members has just returned from the States back over here on European soil, and his name, he's held.
Richard Porter, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about. Nice to meet y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Richard Porter is kind of whack.
Yeah, you in Manhattan or Brooklyn, dude?
Both.
Both, okay.
I'm in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. But
So Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Bronx, New York, Angel Gonzalez. I head airbrush artist, and of course, representing the light team here in the flesh with Universal Brothers and Sisters. Say what's up.
Yeah, and it is a blessing to be here. Actually, I'm very happy to actually be on this side of the feed, because constantly I'm always on that side, and I really, writing, you really can't explain it or express what you really want to talk about. And then now that I'm here, hopefully I can chime in and talk a little bit about how I feel, because everybody has something to offer, and I feel like everybody's got a superpower. Yeah, everybody's got something to.
So he's our orange chakra expert, ladies.
What do I say about that, right?
That's true.
The truth comes from the heart, right?
Which one?
So we'll we'll be addressing some other subject matters later on with Angel, representing New York once again. Here on the ground, Universal Brothers and Sisters. And
we'll go into it.
What's up,
Someone wants to know who we are. They just chimed in.
Roxana.
Someone at the bottom.
Who said
Basically,
that?
okay.
Who said that?
I can't remember. It's like way at the bottom. I'm going to stay on the question part.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just tuning in to us, we're Universal Brothers and Sisters, Galactic Faded Baby. I guess we could just basically explain our names. To say who we are is so far-fetched, and there will be an undertone of who we really are. So you already know Lavelle. I see your quote. You know Lavelle Zimmerman, Ashtar Commander, Red Skywalker, AZ,
How you gonna introduce
and
me?
all this other stuff.
They say they already know you. They say they already know you. You don't get no introduction. You on the streams like this. Eat those streams. The better than the pause moments.
So, I'm on Ra. That's all you need to know. Keep it short and sweet.
Angel.
I'm just Angel Gonzalez.
They call him Orange Chakra.
Actually, Triple A. There's a story behind that. Maybe AZ could explain some other time.
No, y'all can get it.
Go ahead, Corey. So, Corey Marshall, overseas, new guy. So my name is based off of just me picking it, seeing things, and then going around the planet and providing healing. So that's how I came out with overseas. It's been like maybe 10 years now since I had it.
No, Porter.
Yeah.
Porter.
You won, dog. That's my name for it, man. Yeah, they want to know. The people want to know.
People want to know who the camera guy is.
It's massive glam. You know what I'm saying? Most of the photography, most of the videos, probably I did it. I don't know. We'll see.
He did it. I did it. Easy enough. So now we're gonna get to our inquiry from Jade. Jade was speaking about what we experienced within our sleeping state. I'm glad you brought that up because that applies on a different level to Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Indigos, as well as humans to a certain extent. what takes place during your sleep state is, of course, there is the existence on the astral plane of existence. With your physical vehicle is within the neutral state. If you're speaking of purity in that sense, yes, you are in the pure neutral state of being, where you move into the astral plane and leave the physical existence within this existence, or within the physical body within this plane of existence. Many of our Starseed Lightworker Indigo community, in alignment with this ascension process, are experiencing very deep and complex initiations. There's meetings that take place amongst the astral plane of existence. Some on different planes of existence where it's completely etheric. We meet with many of you at night to discuss the nature of your missions and where you are within your transitional missions. Of course, the initiations involve experiences that may mirror different experiences that you've had here on this plane of existence. However, within those planes, amongst the initiations, these experiences, associations, connections, communications, or situations, if you will, that you were placed in within the astral realm, they're there to either clear or see if you've cleared certain energetic blockages within your energy field. You meet with certain energies or certain projections, mirror reflections of self that you may associate with certain people here on this plane to address certain energetic issues when it comes to emotions, blockages that you still may have, to see if these are still active, or as far as what degree or capacity do you still embrace them, such as jealousy, openness, honesty. When it comes to fear, there's many initiations that take place on this plane of existence, which are there to help you on this plane of existence, where, once again, some of these situations may mirror the energies and reflections of souls within this plane of existence, just to assist you with that work of aligning yourself and grounding yourself and remaining or moving into a place of stability. So there's work on both sides of the house when it comes to the astral etheric planes during your sleep, and of course the work that you're doing here in the physical as well. Those initiations, the meetings, you also move into healing chambers and visit healing chambers aboard our starships. There's also many of you that attend meetings with the council, and who I am is Commander Ashtar. There's many of you who connect with me during your sleep time, not necessarily in this reflection vehicle, if you will, but also others, where you connect with the essence. You can sense the nature of the presence or the vibration existing here within that plane. So there's a lot of activity taking place on both sides of the house. However, when it comes to your question, Jade, within the physical realm, you move back into the neutral state, which is that of purity. Of course, you awake in peace, you go to sleep in peace, beyond the temporary emotions of the illusion. So I feel that I've addressed your inquiry thoroughly. What you got, though?
Well, first off, Carrie says she can laugh louder than me. I don't want to be there when y'all go through that.
Yeah, we're not having that contest. I'm not doing it.
You don't want to break the glass.
Yeah, really, though.
Fernando, could a good analogy be saying that we've made the mind the master and the heart the servant, when it is actually heart, when it is the heart that is the master and the mind the servant?
It's good. Bingo. This is the illusion. And the power to switch those around is the nature of grounding and the nature of your evolution here within the physical plane. So, amazing analogy. Thank you, Fernando.
How many people was out there dancing just now? That's what I want to know. If you was dancing, give me a hand up. All right, let me see. Toes wiggling.
What?
Let me see what we got.
He said, what?
About Davina. About a month ago or so, I heard congratulations on your recent graduation. Earlier, when speaking on Lightworkers, Indigo Starseeds, you spoke of graduating.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa, as a starseed, what or how exactly are we graduating? To what?
You're graduating back into the heavens in completion of your mission. Of course, you leave this plane of existence much more evolved than you arrived. Yes, you are the best of the best within this universe and arriving here in your services to the divine. However, amongst your human experience, you're graduating in the physical amongst the human body. Now, as the best of the best, I did not say this, as the best of the best, many of you came here from planes of existence that were not physical. Once again, this is rather complex. You come from all over the place, all throughout this universe, not this galaxy, not this sector of space, but all throughout this universe, where many of you have come from places non-physical. It's kind of complex to recognize at this point in time. However, eventually you will recognize this. You've manifested yourself in a physical vehicle. And when I say graduation, we talk about the graduation of the human body vehicle, the vessel, the physical vehicle, the destiny of being a physical angel. This is the nature of your graduation. You've donned the human body vehicle, which is a very special vehicle, a very special species with many capabilities on different levels of existence. Your activation of the human body within the physical is allowing you and allotting you the opportunity to exist in the physical, etheric, and astral all at the same time on different planes of existence, where all of them are cosmic in nature. A graduation of such a nature, of such a vehicle or vessel, is truly an honor, where in serving aboard our galactic fleet, you have the opportunity and ability to travel aboard our ships in service to many planes of existence, including the physical, as a physical angel and assisting species. So the graduation that you are experiencing is that of the physical human body into a galactic human, where you're allowing for a Christed race of humans to exist here on this planet. This is the nature of your graduation. You're already evolved. I get your point. However, the graduation here on Earth is a badge of honor in the list of the experiences that you had throughout the galaxy. So this is not a small deal in any way, shape, or form. It is a great honor. What you got, bro?
Peace, Missy. Do we want to end this pretty soon? No more questions, really.
Any more questions?
Had everybody with their hands up now, so it's off the phone.
Okay, cool. I mean, is there no more questions?
Nada.
Okay, cool. Yo, CeeLo!
Hold on, something just popped up. Where did it just come from? Okay. This is our last incarnation on Earth, I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
From Lucy.
Yep.
I suppose that's a yes, Lucy. And Laura, is that why many of us feel like we don't belong here or don't fit in with the masses?
So, yes, this is the last incarnation here on planet Earth. This is the culmination of all the lifetimes that you have experienced here on planet Earth. There's still much to do. However, there is no more reincarnating here on planet Earth for souls within the lower frequencies. There's no one dying now that's going to reincarnate here on planet Earth. So those of you that are alive and are here to stay alive and ascend and move into higher planes of existence and ushering in the golden age physically here on planet Earth. This is what's taking place now. As far as the inquiry of feeling different and feeling out of touch or disassociated, a sense of alienation, if you will, no pun intended, with human society. This is the nature of being a starseed, light worker, indigo amongst humanity. Once again, you come from different planes of existence. The ways of humanity are foreign to you. So you feel out of place with the human concept of life, of existence. Once again, you experience the isolation, the ridicule, the judgment, the separation from humanity or common society, if you will, because you're not from here. During a meeting, the council expressed to me that it's necessary, and this is early within my awakening process, that it was necessary to recognize that I am here. And it's necessary for me to embrace the fact that I am here amongst humanity. However, I am not of the illusion that is the bondage of humanity. And it's also necessary for me to recognize that I am here amongst humanity, but I am not of the drama of human species. I'm here with a very specific mission and purpose, and to move in the way that I move, deem my intuition and the heart space. I'm not here to fit in at all. There's a sense of empathy and compassion, a sense of humility, if you will. The human experience is humiliating to a large extent. However, once again, it's necessary to realize that you're not of this plane of existence. However, you are here for a divine purpose where it's necessary to embrace it, show compassion, and recognize all less reflections of self beyond the differences. Allow humanity to be human and do the things that humanity does within an awakened or sleep state. However, once again, you're here to do what you do the way you do it because that's why you were chosen to be here. And of course, all of these expressions are within the intent and hold the foundation of operating within from a place of peace. However, as the title goes, you are the renegades of light. You are to be renegades and embrace it as it is. What else you got? We got some more questions?
I'm gonna go to Mel's question.
I mean, you got more? I told people they
It's a
can. They
few
got,
more.
yeah, sorry, cool. You can answer them, bro. It ain't that big of a deal. It's our channel.
Mel is asking, what was the time of those souls who have transitioned not to come here again? Example, someone who passed 40 years ago. Did they reincarnate here again?
This is analysis, Mel. This is neither mine or your business. We're here, and that is what is important. All souls have their purpose, and once again, the complexity of such a process is beyond any of our mental capabilities or analysis. We are to accept that we are here, and those that have gone forth to do more work are to do more work, and those who are still here to exist or reincarnate here to exist amongst the heavenly realms are here to do so. However, amongst our fully awakened selves, we realize the path of all, and we recognize the eternal nature of all beyond if those that we would want to stay here or not are here or not. This is their individual purpose and their sole mission, and theirs alone. And once again, it's necessary for us to respect that.
Last two questions. One from Andrea. Can Centurion Jackson ever join us?
What's that again?
Can Centurion Jackson ever join us?
Join us where? On the show?
She's asked it twice.
Can you ever join us? Can you ever join us? I'm assuming your question is join us for the show. This is possible. However, once again, this is within the intent, the free will intent of all who are involved. Of course, he is but a manifestation of who I am. So we serve those purposes as we do, and speaking from our own individual levels of awareness. However, the intentions have to be there, and if the divine deems so, then this shall be. However, that is yet to be seen, and once again, we will not force any of this to take place. Of course, our coexistence, co-creation, and co-communication with you is deemed necessary and an aspect of this transition. However, within this space-time, this is not the case at all. So such a connection is truly divine in nature if you recognize the paramount nature of both of our missions together. However, we both exist on different planes and here to express very specific instruction, not necessarily instructions, but guidance amongst our collective, and very conscientious of the nature of this coexistence and co-creation based on the nature of our purposes and who we are as one. So not at this point. What you got?
What crystal is that?
I don't know. Someone asking. I just bought this yesterday. Intuitively guided to hold it. Of course, I have lapis lazuli on my arm for communication purposes. However, the crystal in my palm I was guided to hold, not wear the name, but it's a very comforting crystal for crystal experts out there, if you will. It's on you. So, what else you got, bro?
Where to go? Danielle. That was the next one, right? Yep. I like to know how you got to this place in your heart. Selenite egg.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Thank you, Zena.
I knew she would be the one. Thank you, Zena.
Carrie says the same thing.
Yeah.
Or moonstone.
Mm-hmm. So, as far as the nature of my path, very extensive, very complex in nature. However, if anything, grounding. Not necessarily about how to, but about why not. I've invested a lot of energy in just being here. And with that energy of just being here, the heart speaks volume. Heart speaks true value, true presence, true confidence, true acceptance. And through that sense of acceptance, purity, love, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, trust in oneself, there is the expression of infinite intelligence. Through the silence, through the grounding, through the honesty and integrity within oneself, the burning desire to know oneself and be God. This was the intent, this was the foundation, and this is the nature of the present guidance you're receiving. The ability for me to open and express the nature of who I am beyond doubt, beyond fear, beyond judgment of any kind, to exist in a place of pure self-acceptance, compassion, and empathy, and recognizing all reflections as reflections, and this hologram as a hologram of infinite intelligence, which is of my own creation as God. The silence is the depth of eternity. The fastest way to start a movement is to be still. This is the path, and it's always in the mirror. So as you do the same, as you embrace the confidence to do the same, we observe many of you who are impatient. You want to do something. There's a lot of energy within your presence. And you feel that the most productive thing you could do is to do something. However, I'm here to express to you that the divine is a little more complex than that, and the exact contrary is the truth. There's things to do, yes. However, the most important, the most potent activity that ever could be embraced is that of doing nothing. This is the paradox, to say the least, of eternity. Being here, going inside, and having the strength to trust yourself and do nothing. And through that silence, through that presence, blossoms a glorious energy of divine light that is unstoppable. However, it takes, I'm a very energetic person, if you can already tell. Loud, there's tons of energy here. And over time, expressing a lot of energy, you come to realize that there's nothing more powerful than silence. However, it took years of expounding this energy in sports and fighting and life and arguing and debates and everything I could get my hands on to express this energy. It took years of that to recognize that there's nothing more powerful than being quiet. Going within yourself and recognizing the true vibrational frequency of that silence and being the most powerful frequency there is, which is unconditional love. Through that, your divinity, your magnificence is blossomed. Any more questions, bro?
Nope.
If there are no more questions, ladies and gentlemen, we love you dearly and appreciate your presence. From all of us here at Universal Brothers and Sisters, our sisters are here in the etherics, our sisters are here online. Yes, they're all brothers here. However, our sisters are with us in spirit, and we appreciate all of you. In due time, we will connect and we will vibe. We will join the cipher together and embrace each other like family, as family of a divine nature. However, at this time, from who we are the Universal Brothers Circle, we bid you greetings, farewell. We will exit with the exit song through the maestro overseas, and see you next time here on Let's Build. Don't forget, of course you don't forget, It's Thursday, you're present. You're in the heart space. Saturday is going down.
Live.
It's going down.
Live.
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 Be here. Be square.
You get to see parts of the ride you never seen.
Yeah, you're going to see where we stay at. It's all good. Yo, CeeLo, what's the name of the song, bro?
All right. So it's my honor to be part of the family of lights.
You heard?
There it is. Every day, I definitely try to express myself in a way that's humble, pure of nature, to do the things that we do in service to the light so we can liberate humanity altogether. Hashtag global healing. G-Fo in the house. Without further ado, this one right here is very definitive of the goals that we reach every day for all humanity. This is hashtag squad goals, which will be on Trap Heaven. So without further ado,
Trap Heavenly.
Let's get it in.
Squad goals.
Royalty. I don't know what them talking about, but we here though. Life, sky, love. Every time we pop, we make it lit. Every night down, no good. Nice guys and all of that. But cause I take the push on that. You be seeing my squad. Something like the outbeats. Ball, we go hard. Y'all know. What's it called? Come on. Squad goals. Y'all know. All we gotta do is call. Squad goals. Like grind and gay, baby. Got your right one, baby. Baby girl, just call me AJ. Ash confident from Manfred. Every broad, she can bust up on the Hall Street Blue. Sounds like representing my dog, my good. But I represent the multiverse, the truth. GLD, you know who? Gonna back it up, I bet an apple, bro. I'm gonna drag your love within the darkest month. Control them, go ahead, buck. Like my mama, cuz I'm never scared at night. You can try your luck and get your petals plucked. They like the counter show, but I stuffed turkeys with this stovetop loving. Man, they love my cooking. Ask Shirley Chisholm, she can name the dishes I be cooking. Pimpin', beans, chickens, turkeys. Hold up, dog, are you a vegan? Yeah, but I cook it for the homies. Ain't no judgment. We just be chillin'. I'm simply like the ruler with a woman being mad. I rest the triple pieces and the loot being sad. Wake up. The arrow's all in my pad. Yeah, on a new earth. Bouncing around in this trap. Ain't no escape from my love. We feel rockin' like that. Y'all know. All we gotta do is call. Squad goals. Y'all know. All we gotta do is call. Squad goals. Hey. So you already had the link sign? You're on the ground, no. 144,000.
You guys still gotta share my link.
Yeah, that's true. I think you can. No, he just dropped earlier. Hey, that's what he did. You ain't tagged us in it? Hey.
Huh? I tagged you.
Yeah?
Yeah. You're right there. It's Amon. I was gonna do something different, but I didn't have time, man. I wanted to.
Serious?
Yeah, hold on.
Pause.
What are you doing, Corey?
Yo, I was doing what the commander told me to do.
No, you gotta do it now, son. It's okay.
Get her ass!
Pause on that.
I'm gonna take it with the go. Just like you know it's the throw. I'm back at the devil a bit. I'm back at the devil, you know I will crack up on my prison down on the wrist. Walking it down with the wrist. Look at the black, I'm putting me through in my crib. I'm ripping and happening again. Give me your money to give it together again. I'm working my numbers to give me my phone down here.
I'm working on it. I'm working on other things.
On the way home, we got the fucking boat. On the way home, we got the fucking low. People loving and fucking like go. Listen at night. Bird game taking flight. Bounce move side. Let's go try it. Nigga, line man, we're all right here. Yo, obelisk forever. Keep back and forth. Back. Yeah. You chilling?
Yeah. Woo! I'll let y'all see y'all Saturday.
Saturday, baby. Trap heaven. You heard?